Lovely viewers, Lee Min-ho, leaning in ever so gently, secretly kissing Song Hye-kyo's forehead at the airport. It began quietly. Some fans noticed Lee Min-ho first. Tall, unmistakable, wearing a cap pulled low and a mask that didn't quite hide his presence. There's a certain way he carries himself that fans can recognize from afar, even when he's trying to blend in. Moments later, Song Hye-kyo appeared, equally understated, dressed simply, her hair loose, her face calm but slightly tired in that familiar way travelers often look after long flights or tight schedules. First, nothing seemed unusual. Two stars, used to traveling, used to attention, walking with purpose. But then came that moment. Fans say it happened near a quieter corner of the terminal, away from the main crowd. Perhaps they thought they were unnoticed. Perhaps they simply forgot where they were. Lee Min-ho slowed his steps, turned slightly toward Song Hye-kyo, and in a movement so quick yet so deliberate, he leaned down and placed a gentle kiss on her forehead. Not dramatic, not exaggerated, just soft, protective, and deeply personal. Those who saw it froze. Some gasped. Some questioned their own eyes. Was that really what they just witnessed? A forehead kiss is not just any gesture. It's not flashy like holding hands for the cameras or posing arm in arm. A forehead kiss is intimate. It speaks of care, reassurance, affection, and emotional closeness. It's the kind of gesture you give when you think no one is watching. Within minutes, whispers spread through the terminal. Phones came out, messages were typed with shaking fingers, and social media began to buzz. I think I just saw Lee Min-ho kiss Song Hye-kyo's forehead at the airport. At first, many dismissed it as fan imagination. But then more accounts surfaced. Different angles, different fans, all describing the same small but powerful moment. What made it even more compelling was Song Hye-kyo's reaction. Fans say she didn't pull away. She didn't look surprised. Instead, she smiled softly, the kind of smile that reaches the eyes, the kind that feels private and unguarded. Some say she briefly closed her eyes, as if savoring the moment. Others noticed how she leaned slightly closer afterward, walking in step with him, their shoulders almost touching. Lovely viewers, this is where the story truly begins to unfold, because that single gesture ignited a storm of emotions, theories, and reflections across fandoms worldwide. For years, fans have followed every interaction between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo with almost forensic attention. Every glance at award shows, every coincidental schedule overlap, every similar post timing on social media has been analyzed, debated, and redebated. But this was different. This wasn't speculation based on timing or proximity. This was a physical, affectionate act witnessed by multiple people in real time. Some fans immediately took to social media, not with scandal in mind, but with awe. Many described feeling like they had witnessed something sacred, something not meant for public consumption. Comments poured in saying things like, "I feel like I wasn't supposed to see that," and "That wasn't for us, that was for them." Others admitted they felt emotional, even teary, because the gesture felt so sincere in an industry often accused of being artificial. Of course, there were skeptics. There always are. Some argued it could have been a misunderstanding, a protective lean, or even a whisper mistaken for a kiss. But as more fans shared consistent descriptions, the skepticism began to soften, especially when airport staff reportedly noticed a shift in how the two moved afterward, staying close, subtly shielding each other from the crowd. What makes this moment resonate so deeply is the context surrounding both stars. Lee Min-ho has long been known for his gentlemanly image, his reserved approach to public affection, and his careful separation between private life and public persona. Song Hye-kyo, on the other hand, has carried herself with quiet dignity through the highest highs and most painful lows of her career. She is admired not just for her beauty and talent, but for her emotional strength and grace under scrutiny. Seeing these two figures share such a tender, unguarded moment felt like a crack in the wall between celebrity and humanity. It reminded fans that beneath the fame, the schedules, and the cameras, there are two people who might simply care deeply for each other. As the story spread, fans began revisiting past moments with new eyes. Old clips resurfaced of them standing slightly closer than necessary at events. Interviews where their names were mentioned, and subtle smiles appeared. Times when one seemed to attend an event unexpectedly linked to the other. All of these moments, once dismissed as coincidence, now felt charged with new meaning. Some fans even pointed out how Lee Min-ho has, in the past, spoken about expressing affection quietly rather than loudly. In an older interview, he once mentioned that he values small gestures more than grand displays. Song Hye-kyo, too, has spoken about finding comfort in simple acts of care rather than public declarations. Suddenly, that forehead kiss felt like the perfect intersection of their personalities. Lovely viewers, let's talk about why a forehead kiss matters so much. In many cultures, it's a symbol of protection, trust, and emotional intimacy. It's often given when words feel unnecessary, when presence alone is enough. It's the kind of kiss that says, "I'm here, you're safe, and you matter to me." Seeing such a gesture in a place as public and chaotic as an airport makes it even more powerful. Fans began sharing personal stories in response. Some said it reminded them of how their partner comforts them during stressful moments. Others said it made them believe in quiet love again, the kind that doesn't need to be announced to the world. The comment sections became emotional spaces, filled with reflections, hopes, and even healing for some viewers. Interestingly, neither Lee Min-ho nor Song Hye-kyo's agencies rushed to deny the reports. There was no immediate statement calling the rumors false or asking fans to stop speculating. That silence only fueled curiosity. In the world of celebrity management, silence can sometimes speak louder than words. As hours turned into days, fan-made illustrations, edits, and slow-motion recreations of the alleged moment began to appear online. Artists tried to capture the softness of the gesture, the way his head tilted, the calm expression on her face. Video editors stitched together airport footage with romantic music, carefully analyzing body language frame by frame. But beyond the romance, many fans expressed something deeper: respect. Respect for how discreet the moment was. Respect for the possibility that these two might be protecting something precious from public consumption. In a time when relationships are often monetized, documented, and exposed, the idea that two major stars could share something real and unpublicized felt refreshing. Of course, this also raised questions. How long has this been going on? Was this a one-off moment of comfort, or part of a deeper, ongoing relationship? Have they been quietly supporting each other away from the spotlight? Fans debated endlessly, but many agreed on one thing: whatever this is, it feels genuine. The focus slowly shifted from trying to prove whether the moment was real, to appreciating what it represented. Fans started asking not just what happened but why it mattered so much. Why did a single, almost hidden gesture at an airport resonate more deeply than dozens of flashy public appearances or rumored reports ever could? Many viewers pointed out that airports are emotionally charged places. They are spaces of departures and reunions, exhaustion and relief, anxiety and anticipation. For celebrities, they are also spaces where masks are worn not just on faces but on emotions. To let that mask slip, even for a second, suggests trust. It suggests that in that moment, Lee Min-ho felt safe enough, and Song Hye-kyo felt close enough to share something real. Fans who have followed Song Hye-kyo's journey closely couldn't help but feel protective of her. They spoke about how she has always carried herself with quiet resilience, rarely explaining herself, rarely asking for sympathy. Seeing someone offer her that gentle forehead kiss felt, to many, like seeing someone acknowledge her strength and her softness at the same time. It wasn't about ownership or display. It was about care. Others focused on Lee Min-ho's body language after the moment. Several fan accounts mentioned how he subtly positioned himself between Song Hye-kyo and the growing crowd afterward, adjusting his pace to match hers, glancing back as if to make sure she was comfortable. These details, small on their own, collectively painted a picture of attentiveness that fans found incredibly telling. What also stood out was the lack of urgency to capitalize on the moment. No sudden joint photos appeared. No cryptic posts followed immediately. Life seemed to continue as usual on their public profiles. And yet, fans noticed subtle shifts. A calmer aura in recent appearances, softer smiles, a kind of groundedness that people couldn't quite put into words but felt all the same. In comment sections across platforms, longtime fans began sharing how this moment changed their perspective. Some admitted they had grown cynical about celebrity relationships, worn down by publicity stunts and manufactured narratives. But this felt different. This felt like something accidentally witnessed rather than intentionally shown. And that distinction mattered. There were also voices reminding everyone to be gentle, to remember that even if the moment was exactly what it looked like, it doesn't mean the world is entitled to explanations. Many fans urged others not to pressure either star into confirmations or denials. "If it's real, let it be real quietly," one comment read. "And if it's not, let it still be a beautiful moment of human connection." Interestingly, the story also brought together different generations of fans. Older fans who have followed Song Hye-kyo since her early career and younger fans who discovered Lee Min-ho through his more recent projects found common ground in their appreciation of tenderness over spectacle. It became less about shipping and more about emotional maturity, about recognizing the value of subtle affection. Some viewers even reflected on how rare it is to see male celebrities express gentle affection without fear of judgment. The forehead kiss, so often associated with care rather than passion, challenged narrow ideas of masculinity. Fans praised Lee Min-ho for embodying a form of affection that was protective, respectful, and emotionally open. As days went by, the airport itself became symbolic in fan discussions. People joked about how airports have become unexpected witnesses to love stories, confessions, and goodbyes. But beneath the humor was a sense of wonder at how life's most meaningful moments often happen in between, not on stages or screens, but in passing spaces where no one thinks to perform. Lovely viewers, what truly makes this continuation special is how it transformed from a rumor into a shared emotional experience. Even those who never fully believed the story admitted that it made them pause. It made them think about the kinds of love they value. Quiet love. Supportive love. Love that doesn't announce itself. Some fans wrote that they hoped, regardless of labels or outcomes, that both Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo have someone who offers them comfort during long journeys, someone who understands the weight they carry. In that sense, the moment became less about who and more about what it means to be seen, to be cared for, even briefly. And perhaps that's the lasting impact of this story. Not confirmation or denial, not timelines or theories, but a reminder that even in a world obsessed with exposure, there is still room for privacy, softness, and fleeting moments that belong first and foremost to the people living them. So as we move forward, lovely viewers, maybe we don't need answers right away. Maybe it's enough to hold on to the feeling this story gave us. The warmth to come. The belief that somewhere, even under fluorescent airport lights, genuine affection can exist quietly. And in the days that followed, that whisper didn't fade. Instead, it lingered softly in the background of fan conversations, growing deeper rather than louder. It became something people returned to late at night, rereading comments, rewatching blurry clips, replaying descriptions in their minds, not to dissect every frame obsessively, but to reconnect with how the story made them feel. What many viewers began to notice was how calm the atmosphere around the story became after the initial excitement. Unlike scandals that explode and burn out quickly, this moment settled into something warmer, almost reflective. Fans weren't arguing aggressively or demanding answers. They were talking about kindness, about timing, about emotional safety, about how rare it is to see two public figures possibly sharing something unguarded without turning it into a spectacle. Some fans even admitted they initially came for the romance but stayed for the humanity. They spoke about how the image of that forehead kiss reminded them of quieter moments in their own lives. Times when someone showed up for them without words, without an audience, without expectation. Hand on the shoulder. A reassuring presence. A small gesture that meant everything. And isn't that fascinating, lovely viewers? How a moment involving two of the most recognizable faces in the industry ended up reflecting back the most ordinary, universal experiences of love and care. As the discussions deepened, people began to reframe the question entirely. Instead of asking, "Are they together?" many began asking, "What does it say about us that this moved us so deeply?" The answers were honest, sometimes even vulnerable. People spoke about longing for sincerity in a world of filters and curated perfection, about missing tenderness in an era of loud declarations, about craving connection that feels safe rather than performative. There were also thoughtful conversations about boundaries. Fans reminded one another that admiration does not equal ownership, that witnessing something doesn't mean we get to demand more of it. This mutual understanding created a rare sense of harmony across fandom spaces that are often divided. It felt like an unspoken agreement. Whatever this moment was, it deserved respect. Interestingly, industry insiders and longtime observers quietly weighed in too, not with gossip, but with context. Some noted how both Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo have become more selective with their public exposure over the years, less eager to explain themselves, more intentional about what they share. In that light, the airport moment didn't feel accidental. It felt natural, like two people living their lives without constantly checking who's watching. Fans also noticed how neither star appeared rattled afterward. There was no visible discomfort, no sudden withdrawal, no defensive energy. If anything, they seemed grounded. Entered. That composure only strengthened the belief that whatever happened wasn't a mistake or a slip, but something they were at peace with. As time passed, creative expressions continued to flow. Poetic posts, soft edits paired with instrumental music, long captions written like letters rather than theories. People weren't trying to go viral anymore. They were trying to express gratitude for the feeling, for the reminder, for the beauty of something small. Some fans even shared how the story changed how they consumed celebrity news altogether. They found themselves less interested in sensational headlines and more drawn to moments that reveal character rather than controversy. In that way, this single gesture quietly shifted the tone of engagement, at least for a while. And then there was the symbolism of the forehead kiss itself that kept resurfacing in discussions. Fans across cultures shared what it meant to them personally. In some places, it's a sign of deep respect. In others, it's an expression of emotional intimacy that goes beyond romance. For many, it's a gesture reserved for moments of reassurance, protection, or unspoken understanding. That layered meaning allowed people to see the moment through different lenses without invalidating one another. Some viewed it romantically. Some viewed it platonically. Some saw it as a sign of partnership. Others as a sign of mutual care during a demanding schedule. And somehow, all interpretations coexisted peacefully. Lovely viewers, that coexistence is rare. And it tells us something important about the power of subtlety. When something isn't spelled out, it leaves room for empathy instead of argument. It invites reflection instead of division. As weeks went by, newer fans discovered the story and experienced it fresh. They asked questions not with entitlement, but with curiosity. Longtime fans welcomed them, sharing not just the details, but the tone of the moment. Gentle, respectful, unforced. The story became less about the act itself and more about the atmosphere it created. Even casual observers who weren't deeply invested in either star admitted that the story stood out. Not because it was shocking, but because it felt sincere. And sincerity, in any form, has a way of cutting through noise. Some people even said the story made them slow down. That they found themselves paying more attention to small gestures in their own relationships. That they realized how much meaning can exist in a second, in a touch, in a look that says, "I see you." And maybe that's why this continuation matters. Because this isn't just about extending a rumor or stretching a narrative. It's about honoring the ripple effect of a moment that reminded people of something essential. So as we sit here together, lovely viewers months or weeks removed from that airport scene, the question isn't whether we'll ever get confirmation. The real question is whether we needed it in the first place. Sometimes, a story doesn't need an ending to be complete. Sometimes its purpose is simply to exist, to be felt, and then to quietly settle into our collective memory as a reminder that softness still has a place. Even under bright lights, even in crowded spaces, even among people the world thinks it knows. And if Lee Min-ho and Song Hye-kyo never speak about it publicly, that's okay. If they do, that's okay too. What remains unchanged is the impact of that fleeting moment, and the way it brought so many people together in calm reflection rather than chaos. So let's carry that forward. Let's keep choosing kindness in our curiosity. Let's keep celebrating tenderness wherever we find it. And let's remember that not every meaningful moment needs to be explained.